out to you? Will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
Building bridges between our divisions.
Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, won't you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
If you remember this song as being a little bit more meditative, that'll come back. Fear not.
Where is our holy church, where race and class unite, as equal persons in the search for beauty, truth, and right? Where is our holy writ, wherever human heart a sacred torch of truth has lit by inspiration taught? Where is our holy one? Almighty hosts respond. The people rise in every land to break the captive's bond. Where is our holy land within the human soul? Wherever free minds truly seek with character the goal. Where is our paradise in aspiration sight, wherein we hope to see arise 10,000 years of right?
Please have a seat.
Good morning. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever age, ability, history, identity, gender, or sexual orientation, you are welcome to bring your full self here. Here to this place where we nurture connections and empower action. Good morning, I am Joy, my pronouns are they, them, and it is a joy to serve this community as liturgist. We're grateful to have Melinda and Reverend Charles Laughlin as our hymn leaders, David Bronstein as our pastoral care associate, and Marcus Hawk, our director of music ministries, on piano. If you haven't already, please put your phones in worship mode. Reverend Scott is here with us today in the tech booth, and Reverend Anya will return next week. Today's worship leader is Dana N. Moore. Dana is a recent graduate of Starr King School for the Ministry, where she earned a Master of Divinity with a concentration in Unitarian Universalist Studies. A lifelong practitioner of love at the center, she calls the Unitarian Universalist congregation at Montclair her spiritual home and joyfully continues her formation journey as an aspirant to UU ministry. Dana serves on the UUA's Commission on Appraisal, and she serves as a leader in other ministries, including Diverse Revolutionary UU Multicultural Ministries, or DRUM, and Black Women of the Chalice. She enjoys geeking out about the ethics of spiritual leadership, organizational development, and creating systems and structures that support the sustainability of beloved community. When not nurturing her two beautiful children, Dana can be found preaching and singing about love, nibbling cheese, and hugging trees. If you are new or have any questions, please find one of our greeters wearing red stoles, the neck scarves. And for those with children, ask a greeter about the Child Creative Engagement Toolkit in the Hanley Welcome Center. We have one program schedule change. To accommodate renovations at Tierney's, Theological on Tap, which was scheduled to begin this coming Wednesday, will now begin Wednesday, August 13th. The class will run 4 consecutive Wednesdays, 6 to 8 p.m. in Tierney's second floor lounge. Our service today invites us to practice sustained attention and action to achieve a lasting impact. We live stream our services, and while we cannot guarantee that you are not caught on camera, it is our intention to focus our cameras on our worship leaders. Let's now reach out to a few folks near us and offer them welcome and love.
Let us open our senses to take in the beauty. Let us open our minds to learn what is true. Let us open our hearts to love one another. To love one another. Let us open our senses to take in the beauty. Let us open our minds to learn what is true. Let us open our hearts to love one another. To love one another.
Good morning. My name is Dana Moore, and I use she, her pronouns. Our invocation comes from the Reverend Shari Woodbury, and it invites us to find love at our center and as our foundation. Joy and I will share this together. Again, we reground ourselves here in our highest values.
Love is the center and foundation of this faith.
Love is the power that holds us together as a community.
As we enter into worship, then let us open our hearts to the healing power of liberating love.
Because love is not only something we receive, but something we practice in community.
Let fall away all that might distract us from the wholehearted practice of love.
Let us be accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love.
As we continue to listen and learn, to act and grow,
may we each unfold in wholeness,
both deeply loving and truly loved. Both deeply loving and truly loved, we take a moment to thank those who have gathered, who have made community. Special thanks to Ray Dumont for creating this month's chancel display, And let's celebrate those who are making this gathering possible. Our custodian, greeters, ushers, tech team, Connection Cafe facilitators, and worship leaders. Thank you. From gratitude comes generosity. For the month of August, we will be sharing our riches with Meadville Lombard Theological School. Meadville nurtures learners from diverse faith traditions to embody the collaborative work of liberation through congregational and community leadership. Meadville Lombard is one of 2 Unitarian Universalist seminaries in the United States. All of our congregation's reverends are alums, and members, Chris Boudin and Ghana Hilton, are currently students. Unitarian Universalist seminarians go into a lot of debt when they choose to attend our Unitarian Universalist schools. These schools are incredible learning environments, but they do not have the financial resources of the larger institutions like the seminaries at Harvard or Drew. So please give generously. You can text UUCM plate and your amount to 73256 to give, mail us a check with plate in the memo, or simply place your gift in the offering basket. And community, please know that all of your gifts are worthy and they are all received with love. Ushers, please come forward.
Offering hymn today is going to be a song that we're going to teach you. It's a song that I learned from Yara Allen, who works with Reverend William Barber, who's heading the Poor People's Campaign that continues the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It's called Somebody's Hurting My Sibling.
Sure.
Whoa,
Somebody's hurting my sibling, and it's gone on far too long. Yes, it's gone on far too long. Yes, it's gone on far too long. Somebody's hurting my sibling, and it's gone on far too long. And we won't be silent anymore.
Sing with us.
Whoa, somebody's hurting my sibling, and it's gone on far too long. Yes, it's gone on far too long. Yes, it's gone on far too long. Somebody's hurting my sibling, and it's gone on far too long. And we won't be silent anymore.
somebody's poisoning the water.
Whoa, somebody's poisoning the water, and it's gone on far too long. Yes, it's gone on far too long. Yes, it's gone on far too long. Somebody's poisoning the water, and it's gone on far too long. And we won't be silent anymore.
Somebody's threatening my neighbor.
Oh, somebody's threatening my neighbor, and it's gone on far too long. Yes, it's gone on far too long. Yes, it's gone on far too long. Somebody's threatening my neighbor, and it's gone on far too long. And we won't be silent anymore.
And we won't be silent.
And we won't be silent anymore.
No, we won't be silent.
And we won't be silent anymore.
Called to find depth in our days and discover reverence in this hour, we seek a gentle meditation, a focused reflection, and ardent prayer, each as we are called and yet mystically all together. My name is David Bronstein, and I am a member of the pastoral care team. Please be in touch. I would be honored to listen and care. And we enter into this space by hearing the lamentations, the requests, and the remembrances of our community. Let us hear one another to heal one another. We light this candle and offer our prayers for Paul Black and his wife Paula and son Malachi as Paul recovers from major surgery last Thursday. We hope the pathology following the surgery shows good news. May healing come, and may Paul know we are holding him in love and abiding faith. We light this candle for Boggy, the dear departed ragdoll cat that was a blessing to Ellie Bagley for many years. Boggy passed away on Thursday evening, surrounded by his beloved family. Boggy shared incredible love and affection with Ellie and Charlie Bagley and is deeply missed. Deborah Ann Tripoldi and family light a candle in remembrance of their grandmother, Nanny Mildred DeMaio, who passed away 19 years ago on August 2nd. We light a candle for Lena Jacobs' brother Jim, who is in the hospital again with lupus complications. May Lena and Jim find healing and strength in its shared light. And we have a candle of joy for Joe and Sue Spanier. Joe and Sue Spanier celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary Friday, August 1st. Woo! And we light this final candle for the joys and sorrows that are deeply felt but have not been spoken aloud. May we hold this silence as this silence holds us. May our listening inspire acts of love. I'll be sharing a prayer by Loretta Williams. Her words invite us to affirm hope. Please join me in this common embodiment of reverence. We, bearers of the dream, affirm that a new vision of hope is emerging. We pledge to work for that community in which justice will be actively present. We affirm that there is struggle yet ahead. Yet we know that in the struggle is the hope for the future. We affirm that we are co-creators of the future, not passive pawns. And we stand united in affirmation of our hope and vision, a just and inclusive society. We affirm the unity of all persons. We affirm brotherhood and sisterhood that allows us to touch upon each other's humanity. We affirm a unity that opens our eyes, opens our ears, and opens our hearts to see the different but common forms of oppression, suffering, and pain. Yet we are one in the image of God, and we celebrate our hopes for human unity. Within ourselves and within the gathered community, we will discover the strength not to hide in indifference. Affirming that hope, publicly expressed, energizes and enables us to move forward. Together, we pledge action to transcend barriers, be they racial, political, economic, social, or religious. We pledge to make our tomorrows become our todays.
I reach out to you, will you reach out to out to you? Will you reach out to me with all of our voices and all of our visions? Friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
Our reading is a compendium for accountability. The combined voices of Thurgood Marshall, Frederick Douglass, and A. Philip Randolph make up this compendium for accountability arranged by Dana N. Moore. The process of democracy is one of change. Our laws are not frozen into immutable form. They are constantly in the process of revision in response to the needs of a changing society. The legal system can force open doors and sometimes even knock down walls, but it cannot build bridges. That job belongs to you and me. Where justice is denied, where poverty is enforced, where ignorance prevails, and where any one class is made to feel that society is an organized conspiracy to oppress, rob, and degrade them, neither persons nor property will be safe. I prayed for freedom for 20 years, but received no answer until I prayed with my legs. Freedom is never granted, it is won. Justice is never given, it is exacted. Freedom and justice must be struggled for by the oppressed of all lands and races. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet depreciate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its many waters. This struggle may be a moral one, or it may be a physical one, or it may be both moral and physical, but it must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. We must dissent from the indifference. We must dissent from the apathy. We must dissent from the fear, the hatred, and the mistrust. We must dissent from the poverty of vision and the absence of moral leadership. Where you see wrong or inequality or injustice, speak out, because this is your country. This is your democracy. Make it, protect it, pass it on.
It's a
Mighty long way from over yonder.
It's
Mighty long way from there to here.
We're gonna take it, oh yes, one step at a time, so that
We can make that walk from there to here.
what we can see outside our window, it's a whole lifetime from there to here. All those people who gave their sweat and their blood so that
We could make that walk from there to here.
It's a
Mighty long way
from
over yonder.
It's a
Mighty long way from there to here.
We're gonna take it, oh yes, one step
At a time,
so that
we can make that walk from there to here.
every child born is a revolution, is a
Revolution,
with a
song inside.
Hear it,
night and day just to keep that song alive.
It's a
Mighty long way, ooh, from over yonder, ooh, mighty long way, ooh, from there to here.
Take it, oh yes, one
Step at a time,
so that
we can make that walk from there to here.
Now when you've got a dream, you've got to
Stand up and shout it.
Shout it
loud
loud
and
and clear. What's that I'm hearing? It's the voice of the people singing that
We will make that walk from there to here.
It's a
Mighty long way,
ooh,
from over yonder, ooh,
it's a
mighty long way, ooh, from there to
We're gonna
here.
take it, oh yes, one step at a time, so that
We can make that walk from there to here.
so that
We can make that walk from there to here.
so that
We can make that walk from there
to
here.
Wow. Are we all resonating with that song? I saw some heads bopping and some hands going. I know that I am. Earlier, Joy shared that I recently graduated from seminary, and it was definitely a mighty long way from there back to here. Mostly done one step at a time. I mean, sometimes I was so energized that I may have been skipping, but then there were those moments, quite a few of them, that could only happen one step at a time. Much like my ongoing recovering from total knee replacement. Sometimes it was a very slow, uncertain, labored, pained step, but a step I was determined to make. Steps I've been willing to make on this path toward ministry is what it reminds me of. Steps I hope to take toward ordination in this faith, hopefully one day soon in this sanctuary. That is one of my personal aspirations, for I am an aspirant to UU ministry. In our Unitarian Universalist denomination, an aspirant is a person who is formally recognized by the Unitarian Universalist Association as someone actively pursuing ministerial fellowship. It means that I have met the initial requirements to begin the process of becoming a Unitarian Universalist minister, because there are many, many steps to that end. So many, in fact, that the UUA extends a full 7 years for aspirants to complete the process. And there's even an identified pathway to get there. It starts with an undergraduate degree or a graduate degree, acceptance to seminary, sponsorship from a congregation, interviews with ministers, internships, clinical pastoral education, career assessments, and that is just to get to the next step, candidacy. It's a mighty long way to travel, but this structured path gives me hope direction, and enough flexibility to chart my own course. There is no prescribed order for these steps, but I do know exactly what I need to do to get over yonder. And I have faith that I will get there because I have a clear plan, guidance, wonderful mentors, ethics to abide by, and expectations to meet. But what has been most important for me on this journey is you. This community of support, encouragement, and example. This community of opportunity where I've been able to learn and grow as a lay leader. In this community to which I am accountable and hope to make proud, a community whose legacy I carry when I step into the UU world beyond these doors. I've come to understand that this is actually a rarity, and you, my friends, are an anomaly. Because you, this wildly progressive, diverse congregation, have remained actively engaged with the struggles and the values of our faith long before our Article 2 bylaw changes called us to such a focus. When I first discovered the Unitarian Universalist congregation at Montclair more than 11 years ago, I knew that this was a place I wanted to be because you were speaking my language. At that time, our congregation's mission statement was in part, "We are a liberal religious community seeking transformation in our hearts, our homes, our community, and our world." I'm sure some of you know that and remember that by heart, yes? This statement spoke to me. It focused me. It told me who you were as a community, not just that white cottage-style church on the corner that was really, really excited to welcome me, which wasn't off-putting for me. It was exactly what I needed at the time. It totally aligned with my style and what many of you have experienced when we first met. I wasn't scared. I was intrigued. Because that mission statement, coupled with our principles, made clear that you were a people with vision, aspirations, and a people committed to change, transformation. By your actions and by that subtle roadmap in those words, from heart to home to community, and then the world. That aspiration was not just a statement, but a call to action and accountability. It was a call to awareness and our sustained attention, continued action, and personal accountability before we move outside of ourselves and on to the world. And I believe it was an invitation to loving accountability with wildly imperfect, well-intentioned, and most importantly, willing people, people committed to transformation. I wonder if that is why this congregation has produced so many ministers and progressive leaders. We were already practicing transformation as a value. This was an aspiration that we as a community had worked on together for 20 years. And still today, we continue that work as we come together to nurture the soul, inspire hope, and bring into being a more just and loving world. This, too, is an aspiration that requires action and accountability to realize. Now, I have often heard, especially in my travels to the many UU congregations around the nation, that Unitarian Universalism is an aspirational faith. And I don't necessarily disagree, but I do believe we aspire to more than being aspirational. Don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with being aspirational. Most all of our successes were once aspirations. And by definition, being aspirational means having or showing desire to achieve a high level of success or social status. But we are so much more than that. And we must be more than desire to achieve these successes. I've come to understand that being aspirational is just the first step. There is more that follows. And so I wonder, does this statement truly represent who we are? It's made me think deeply about the ways we live out our faith, how we tackle the immense changes of today and tomorrow, especially when there are no clear parameters, when we're facing challenges we don't even know are coming. I'm really challenged by this idea of being an aspirational faith when that definition is juxtaposed next to action. What does it mean when we walk into a UU congregation and space and read their words that don't align with the actions? The aspirant journey requires sustained attention and a significant dedication of time to deep learning, integration, engagement with the faith and its people, reflection, and personal discernment as one makes a commitment to progressive religious and spiritual leadership. That's a mouthful. So let's unpack that. Let's distill it a bit. The aspirant journey requires deep learning, engagement, and discernment as one makes a commitment to transformation. I acknowledge that understanding as a deeper representation of what and who we truly are. We are a people committed to doing the work of learning so that we may engage the world without extra harm and see transformation become a reality. Our shared histories affirm this because, again, most all successful justice initiatives have required the same kind of sustained attention and then action to achieve lasting impact. Our justice work seems to call for a similar orthopraxy, which, as a scholar I have learned, means right, ortho, practice, praxy. Unlike orthodoxy, which is right thinking. We do the thinking part pretty well. Have you read our bylaws and covenants? We do a lot of thinking. We are deep thinkers and great wordsmiths, but it means nothing if we are not then in the practice of doing. So does being aspirational truly represent our movement? How do we maintain our aspirational nature while ensuring it leads to meaningful action? As an aspirant, I have a roadmap, a documented system of checks and balances, milestones to meet, and a community to hold me accountable. A community with a history of justice-making and storied activism. What do we have as a people of faith to guide us into being the change makers we hope to see for our future? What do we have as UUs and people in the struggle to combat that which threatens our democracy and our survival? Do we have a pathway to move from aspiration to action and accountability that centers love? Good news, friends. I believe that we actually have several tools that we can and do use to our advantage as we move along that journey toward accountability. I think that the answers to many of these questions actually lie in the arc of our history as social justice advocates and activists and the way we have transformed through time. I understand that we have guidance, great mentors, voices of the past, and covenants that hold us. But the understanding of our timelines actually reveals a persistent nature of justice work. In our earlier reading, you may have recognized familiar quotes by different authors and speakers. So let me share a few of those origins. These powerful words that have guided justice movements across generations. The process of democracy is one of change. Does anyone know who said that quote? That was Thurgood Marshall at the National Convention of Alpha Phi Alpha in 1966. Where justice is denied, poverty is enforced. Frederick Douglass in 1886. And this reminder of resistance, I prayed for freedom for 20 years, but I received no answer until I prayed with my feet. Again, Douglass, who escaped slavery in 1838 at the age of 20, regarded physical escape as prayer in action, praying with his feet. Faith embodied. And this ideology he shared all the way back in 1859. Freedom is granted. Freedom is never granted, it is won. Justice is never given, it is exacted. Spoken in 1963, 100 years later. This compendium of prophetic Black activists speaks to us across 135 years, telling us, guiding us, beseeching us. They remind us that we must be a people of action to achieve change. It's not the declaration of aspiration that leads to transformation. It is our commitment to fearless action. And it is not the prayer itself that we may say, the aspiration. It is the movement it inspires that leads to change. The civil rights era officially lasted 14 years, from the 1954 Brown v. Board decision until 1968's Fair Housing Act. Yet the movement's roots stretched back generations, and its implementation still continues today. As I talk about timelines and the arc of our history, let us consider the marriage equality timeline. From Massachusetts becoming the first state to legalize same-sex marriage in 2004, to the Supreme Court's Obergefell decision in 2015, 11 years of sustained legal and grassroots organizing was built upon, and decades of LGBTQ activism was executed. These movements teach us that all of our successes were once aspirations. But what if we were to reframe that definition of aspiration? What would it mean for us as an aspirational people to seek not social status, but social justice? I am of the mindset that we must be willing to lean in, and as Unitarian Universalists, we do that together. We lean in as a community to explore and discover and answer these questions. We also do this through covenanting. Our covenants call us not just to be nice to one another, but to stretch and to grow, to take action and to be in the action of practicing how to overcome our shortcomings and to be accountable to one another. Our covenants ask that we step outside of the commitments we've made to one another, or that when we do, we courageously acknowledge it. We say, ouch. We listen to each other to hear the ouch, and then respond with compassion and willingness to understand and come back together in right relationship. This requires us to practice right here and right now the world we hope to see and be in. And when we do this, we make it a current reality rather than a distant dream. When we are living in and leaning into our covenants, the covenants that ask us to stretch and to grow, to step back, to do our work of learning, and be willing to come back into the circle and share, we make transformation a reality. Practicing covenanting within these walls prepares us and strengthens us to meet the world where we are needed. The marriage equality movement provides a powerful example of covenant in action. Organizations like Freedom to Marry didn't simply aspire to change hearts and minds. They created strategies, built coalitions across differences, and held themselves accountable to measurable goals. When setbacks occurred, as they inevitably did, advocates acknowledged the ouch, learned from their mistakes, and returned to the work with renewed commitment. Similarly, the civil rights movement succeeded not because of aspirations alone, but because of the disciplined practice of covenant within communities of resistance. When conflicts arose within that movement, and they did, leaders like Bayard Rustin, Ella Baker, and Martin Luther King Jr. demonstrated how to acknowledge harm, seek understanding, and recommit to the shared vision of justice. So how, friends, do we tackle the bigger challenges, the ones that we are facing today? I often imagine that we do this with small things and then continue to build the framework and roadmap with love, so that justice work is not a foreign experience, but the norm. And with love, our justice work becomes not a scary thing that we're not sure we can do, but something that we run toward. Because when we know someone is hurting our siblings, our faith calls us to act. In this work, we come back to the table again and again and again, allowing ourselves to be sharpened by one another, to be the transformation and tools of justice in the world. The same principle applies to our congregational life. Every time we practice accountability together in our covenantal relationships, we strengthen our capacity for larger justice work. Every time we choose courage over comfort in addressing harm within our communities, we build the spiritual muscle memory needed for sustained social change. And every time we center love while still holding firm boundaries, we model the kind of transformative relationships our world desperately needs. There is a contemporary joke about our transcendentalist ancestors that I happen to love. It says that they were the ones who looked out the window, and instead of saying, "It is raining," said, "I am reigning." This playful observation points to something profound about our theological inheritance, the influence we carry forward. It's the understanding that we are not separate from the world we seek to change, but intimately connected with it. The question before us is not whether we should be aspirational. That is a part of our DNA as Unitarian Universalists. The question is whether our aspirations will lead to the kind of sustained, accountable action that creates lasting change. Will we be content with good intentions, or will we commit to the harder work of transformation? As we leave this sacred space today, it is my hope that we carry with us the understanding that our aspirational faith calls us not to transcend the world's struggles, but to engage them fully. Let us commit to the small daily practices of accountability that prepare us for larger challenges. Let us remember that every successful justice movement began with people who dared to believe their aspirations could become reality through sustained, loving action. And like our transcendentalist ancestors who declared, "I am reigning," may we understand that we are not separate from the justice we seek. We are the justice we seek, made manifest through our willingness to aspire, to act, and to hold ourselves accountable to the highest calling of our faith. May that calling be love. Thank you.
I'm on my way to the freedom land. I'm on my way to the freedom land. I'm on my way to the freedom land. I'm on my way, great God, I'm on my way. My sibling, come and go with me. I asked my sibling, come and go with me. I asked my sibling, come and go with me. I'm on my way, great God, I'm on my way. They say no, I'll go anyhow. If they say no, I'll go anyhow. If they say no, I'll go anyhow. I'm on my way, great God, I'm on my way. I'm on my way, and I won't turn back. I'm on my way, and I won't turn back. I'm on my way, and I won't turn back. I'm on my way, thank God I'm on my way.
We're on our way.
I'm on my way to the freedom land. I'm on my way to the freedom land. I'm on my way to the freedom land. I'm on my way, great God, I'm on my way.
It is my hope that our service has invited us to practice sustained attention, action, and accountability to achieve lasting impact. A. Philip Randolph said, "Freedom is never granted, it is won. Justice never given, it is exacted." And the dear Thurgood Marshall says, "The legal system can force open doors and sometimes even knock down walls, but it cannot build bridges. That job belongs to you and me." Let us share in our unison chalice extinguishing. Our worship has ended. Let our service begin. Go in peace, go in joy, go in love.